Let's use a general term to find the terms of a sequence. We want to find the first 5 terms of this following sequence given to us as a sub n is equal to -1 to the n plus 1 power all over n squared. A good way to think of this is the first term will always be n equals 1, or represented by n equals 1, and we can write that as a sub 1. So basically we'll go to our formula. Wherever there's an n, we're going to plug in a 1. So we have -1 to the 1 plus 1 power all over 1 squared. And once we simplify that, we have -1 squared all over 1. -1 squared we know to be positive, so we'll have 1 over 1, which is simply 1. To find the second term, that's represented by n equals 2. And in symbols, we can write that as a sub 2. As before, wherever there's an n, we're going to plug in a 2. So we have -1 to the 2 plus 1 power all over 2 squared. Now, in the numerator, we have -1 cubed all over 2 squared, which is 4. Notice we have a negative base to an odd power, so this one will get a negative fraction, a -1/4. N equals 3 will represent our third term. We can write that as a sub 3. We'll have -1 to the 3 plus 1 power all over 3 squared. Simplifying, -1 to the 4th all over 9, 3 squared being 9. Now note we have a negative base to an even power, so that's going to be positive. We have a positive 1/9. And now we can look at the signs a little bit. Our first term was a positive 1. Our second term was a -1/4. Our third term is a positive 1/9. This is a nice example of an alternating sequence where we go positive, negative, so on and so forth. So we could do a similar thing for n equals 4. That represents again our fourth term. And a sub 4 comes out to be a -1/16. Again, continuing our alternating pattern. And then our fifth term, represented by n equals 5, could be written as a sub 5. Again, plugging 5 in wherever we have an n in our formula. And that will give us a positive 1/25. Now that we've done all the work, let's look at our sequence written in one place. We have a sub 1 equaling 1, a sub 2, a -1/4, a sub 3, a positive 1/9, a sub 4, -1/16, and our fifth term, a sub 5, as 1/25.